I am with Housing and Community Development. I'm going to talk today about a comprehensive plan amendment for affordable housing preservation. Sorry about that. My layout got messed up. Hold on. Apologize. And I might have to unshare and then share again. Okay, sorry about that.
Bree, we can see it just fine.
Good. Yeah, my notes went away, so I was like, I didn't know what happened there. Okay. But seems good now. Okay, so just for a little background, in July 2020, the board established the Affordable Housing Preservation Task Force to develop strategies to preserve affordable housing. The task force met from October 2020 to February 2021 and created a set of recommendations. These recommendations include financial tools, land use policies, legislative priorities, all to assist in preservation. In April 2021, the board endorsed the task force recommendations and authorized a comprehensive plan amendment for preservation. The Preservation Task Force was tasked with specifically looking at two types of affordable housing to be preserved. Market affordable units are those with no income restrictions at 60% AMI and below, and their affordability is naturally occurring. Committed affordable units are those with income restrictions, affordable at 80% of the area median income or below. They might be committed through the ADU-WDU program. They might have utilized tax credits or are otherwise privately owned, but do have income restrictions. So just a little background, the comprehensive plan is a guide that reflects the community's long-term land use vision for the future. It's a dynamic document. Changes are done through amendments, which include extensive community engagement. The Preservation Task Force recommendations have multiple recommendations that pertain to amending the comprehensive plan to help preserve existing affordable housing that is being redeveloped. So this was a high priority task for preservation. So we were looking to amend the policy plan and the comprehensive plan, which outlines objectives, policies, and guidelines to help guide planning and development review considerations toward implementing countywide goals. It has 11 functional elements, including a housing element, which currently has 5 objectives and policies to accompany them. The objectives mainly pertain to the production of new affordable housing, and there is also an appendix with detailed guidance on the WDU policy. So staff analyzed a list of market affordable properties that HCD compiled a few years ago to look at the types of properties that we might see come in for redevelopment. As vacant land becomes increasingly scarce in Fairfax County, these properties are becoming more vulnerable to redevelopment as they age. Looking at these different properties and their characteristics and different contexts helped us understand what we might see coming in for redevelopment. Most of these properties are built before 1970, primarily low-rise apartments. While we were thinking about how to make preservation more viable, we looked at how additional density might be applied to these different properties that we could potentially see redevelop in the future. This led to a couple different methodologies that we tried out for set density bonuses, including one market rate unit for one affordable unit, percentages and ratios of applicable density based on how preservation is done, which is similar to the WDU policy. Each site is just so unique, though, that for each scenario that we played out, the density bonus did not work for numerous other sites on the list. Some sites might have small acreages that might not accommodate additional density, or they might be in residential neighborhoods where the necessary density needed to offset the preservation wouldn't fit the context of the area. And a big challenge is the fact that over half of the properties are 100% affordable, and many of the other ones that are not 100% affordable are 80–90% affordable. So that means that the number of units we would be asking to be replaced would be really high, and thus a lot more difficult in terms of financing or additional density to make the preservation financially viable. So we did conclude that we needed an approach that is context sensitive when applying potential density incentives. With each redevelopment case, staff will evaluate the potential for additional density above plan guidance to assist with 1-for-1 replacement without a plan amendment if certain conditions are met. Each case will be negotiated as it comes in so that we are fully able to take into consideration all of the characteristics of the site. And the amendment also does consider potential financing assistance through HCD's blueprint loans or other means, just as we would for a preservation deal outside of the context of redevelopment. So the draft text seeks 1-for-1 replacement of affordable units that are being redeveloped in order to further the board's objective of no net loss of affordable housing. The text allows for additional potential density above plan guidance without a plan amendment when certain conditions are met, and gives staff the ability to take each site's unique attributes into consideration when looking at applying that potential density. An affordability analysis will be conducted by HCD with each zoning case and plan amendment that comes in to determine if there are affordable units being affected by the redevelopment. Overall, this adds to the county's housing preservation and development tools, and it does solidify 1-for-1 replacement as a countywide policy. So structurally, we are looking at adding a 6th objective to the housing element with 5 accompanying policies, as well as a second appendix that includes guidelines for preservation, including general guidance on consideration of additional density. We're also amending the glossary to include definitions of market and committed affordable housing. In terms of the process, we published the draft text a few weeks ago. We're currently doing outreach, which is why we're here for comments. We are going to the Board Housing Committee meeting on September 30th, the Planning Commission Housing Committee meeting on October 20th, and we are publishing the staff report in November, and our hearings are in December and January for PC and board, respectively. Are there any questions or comments on the draft text?
Hey, how you doing?
Thank you.
So am I the only
our one attendee. No pressure.
So I've got the rest of the hour then. This is great.
Yes, yes, our full attention.
To be honest, I'm not that familiar with this. I saw an email this morning and just wanted to join and hear about it. But I know one question that had come up very briefly earlier internally here was as the market affordability definition. So what I understand is that there's existing affordable units, which could be ADUs, workforce housing units, LIHTC, and other, and then there's this idea of market affordability. And is there any explanation, and I apologize, I haven't been through Appendix 2 in detail, but does that explain how that market affordability is determined?
It doesn't, but the market affordability, the threshold is 60% of the area median income. And so we do a survey every 2 years to just get a list, which gives us an idea of what's out there in terms of market affordable properties. So we just got an updated list as well. But for the affordability analysis, for each zoning case and plan amendment that comes through, I will be looking at all, and I do this currently, I look to see what multifamily properties are affected, and I do look up the rents in CoStar. So that's how we obtain the data on the affordability levels.
Okay.
Yeah, so even if it's not on our list, I'm still looking out for the affordability of the multifamily properties that might be affected by redevelopment.
Okay. Just with that goal then of making sure there's no loss of units.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I apologize. That's the only question that I had for now.
No, that's fine. I mean, you can also, review you said you hadn't reviewed the appendix. So, I mean, you can review the documents and you can also submit the comments through our public comment form. I put the link in the chat to the I mean, you probably saw the plan amendment website, but the public comment form is on there. So
okay, great.
Yeah, so that's the place for additional comments.
Okay,